off Roman of the Roman show at the Florida MMA Awards with Luis Baboon Palomino. We used to go way back, man. This is actually our third Florida MMA Awards. I think it was, let me see, maybe the first or second one. You got nominated fighter. Remember that? We go way back.
Yeah, we go back, man. I got nominated for 3 awards and took 3 awards that night. It's a beautiful experience.
And obviously the MMA scene here in Florida has changed. I mean, we're talking about 10, I don't want to feel old here, but a good 10 years ago when things were, MMA fights were scarce. Now we're seeing it more and more. We go back to the CFA times where you were the face. You remember that? You had the belt at one time headlining. So tell me, where do you see the MMA scene here in Florida now after all those years that we've been through?
Well, definitely has grown. It's crazy. Just last night we were at Combat Night. We had one of our guys fight. We didn't take a win for that one, but it was a hell of a fight. And it was, if you just look today at the level of amateur fighters, like we're talking about 10 years back. 10 years back, I didn't even get to do an amateur fight. I went straight pro, And now you see the amateur fighters looking like professionals. So it's crazy how MMA has grown in Florida. The competition level is definitely at its all-time high. You're looking at amateur fighters, kids, looking like pro fighters, like looking like they're ready to go, and it's crazy. It's just crazy to see it.
It's absolutely now. Of course, you're now training here still in Miami, and so you're training with Young Tigers with Eric Castaño, and you got a fight coming up in Russia. You fought there not too long ago. Tell us a little bit about that fight coming up.
Yeah, I'm training with Young Tigers Foundation, Eric Castaños, and my wrestling coach Manny Del Rio. Also, Ricardo is one of my training partners, world's champion black belt jiu-jitsu. So I sharpen my jiu-jitsu with him too. The fight in Russia is going to be St. Petersburg on March 16th. I'll be leaving Miami on the 10th. I've gone, man, almost a year without fighting. ACB had rebranded, and there was a lot of shows canceled. I had a couple of fights fall off due to opponents getting injured, visa situations, whatever. But things are back on track, and that's called now ACA. And they're still keeping the same number as far as the number of the fight they're in. So it's ACA 93, I think it is, 94. St. Petersburg, the guy that I'm fighting, riding like a 9-fight win streak, Abdi Bimarsaev. Tough opponent, game opponent, very game opponent. Wrestler, good boxer, long. It's going to be one hell of a fight, man. I'm ready to go.
Tell me about fighting in Russia. I mean, that's totally, fighting here in the States and South America, but Russia's a whole different world.
It's a whole different place, man. I mean, one thing that I do appreciate and love about ACA is the traveling. I've fought in St. Petersburg already before. It's beautiful. But I've also fought in Grozny, in Vienna, Slovakia. It's nice. You get to travel. We do little seminars here and there. And you get to know different places. It's a wonderful experience. I think it's the best way to enjoy the last of my years of fighting.
Speaking of which, the last years of your fighting. So, I mean, how much time does Baboon have? I mean, I know, listen, we got like that potion of ageless. We keep going here in Miami. I think it must be the sun. But how much time do you see yourself fighting in MMA?
It's a funny question, and I tell everybody the same. It's like this. It's as long as I'm not being finished and submitted and terribly put down and knocked out or knocked down, I'm going to keep going. I was born to fight. I have a samurai spirit that is very hard for it to die out. I have a hunger for competition that flame is still burning. So I'm 38 years old, and I know people that are 10 to 11 years younger than me that have had 4, 6, 7 surgeries. That speaks for itself, I think it comes down to wear and tear, how you've taken care of your body, how you've taken care of yourself. In most of my career, I wasn't the one to take the damage. I was the one giving the damage. I've lost decisions. I've lost by people holding me down, like, stop hitting me type fights. I've been clipped. I've been knocked down and got up again. I think I still have a lot of fight left in me because I've taken care of my body. I feed myself properly, and I feel good. I've had 1 surgery. Deviated septum. Like, what fighter hasn't had that? Deviated septum. I had to fix it because it ruins your conditioning. Other than that, I'm good to go. I've had injuries, but thanks to the Lord, it's not an injury that I'm forced to go and get a surgery from, and I'm here still pushing. As long as I'm feeling good, I'm competing.
You're right about that. You've been very, you've been grateful. Your injuries hasn't been as something ridiculous that you have to call that out. So your last fight, where would you like to have your fight? you've talked about Peru, where your nationality, and that's a place, Inca Warriors, I'm not sure if they're still around. I know that's one of the promotions out there. Combate Americas, I knew you were trying to get with them. I don't know what happened with that. I know they are in South America. So ideally, would that be the best place for you to have your last fight, in Peru or in Miami?
Look, funny you bring it up. When I was going through this transition with ACA and they were doing the rebranding, I had the permission from them to fight outwards, right? And I spoke to Combate America. Combate America spoke to me, and they called me twice, maybe 3 times, where, hey, can you be fighting in a week? I said, yes. Who is it? No matter. Give me the contract. Another one was 3 days or 2 days, I think it was. Mind you, I got to cut 19, 20 pounds to get down. Yes, I'll take the fight. And something happened, and it just didn't happen. I definitely want to go out fighting for Latino America. I want to, I spent so much of my life in America and fighting in America, and I love now that I'm traveling out, but I'm yet to travel to Latino America and fight for my people, So I would love to definitely do some fights. I did contact Inca FC in Peru, big show going on right now. And even though, they can't afford me, I'm like, hey, man, let's work something out. Because in the end of the day, this is my roots, this is my country. I haven't been back since I left, and I don't refuse to come back unless I come back to fight. So, maybe something along the lines in Peru, Combate Americas. Right now, what I can say is my contract is active again with ACB. So now, only time tells.
And Palomino, after that, I know you're a great trainer too, man. Is that something you thought about as well afterwards?
Definitely want to be in the field of MMA. I mean, this is my life, As a trainer, maybe a training director where I direct, how I want things to go in my own gym in the near future. More than anything, promoting, I think, would be my step. Promoting and start off with the amateur shows, promoting my own shows, building my own fighters, and take the amateur shows like an amateur fighting, and then go to pros, and then in some future promoting my own professional show. I would rather take the seat now and enjoy the rest of my years, enjoying the fight than being in the gym. I don't want to lose the love for the gym, So I think if I place myself to be just a trainer, I think I'm going to lose a little bit of that love that I have, because I'm going to be in there because I have to now, So if I'm going to work in this, I would say promoting.
Interesting. Palomino, always a pleasure and good luck in Russia. Represent us. And whenever you have that last fight, I'm sure it's going to be a good one. And all of us here in Miami are going to support you and are looking forward to it. Thanks, Baboon.
Thank you, man. Thank you, man.